We're gonna go over a hip flexor stretch from standing. Our hip flexors are the muscles in the front of the hips. When we sit a lot, they get tight because our hips and knees are in that 90-90 position. So it's really important that we're working on opening up the front of those hips to help our body to feel good and to move well. So let's talk about this hip flexor opening from standing. I recommend using a chair to help steady yourself. You could also stand near a wall. I'm going to demo with the chair here. I'm going to start with my right foot forward. My left foot's going to come back. And we want to have it far enough forward that this whole foot can stay flat on the ground and the shin isn't going to have the knee shooting forward. So I want that shin to be nice and vertical. Just drawing the stomach in. I'm going to shift the hip forward. So I'm looking to open up the front of the hip, and I'm going to breathe in. Raise the arm up without swaying back. So think about keeping the ribs down, eyes up. Breathe a couple of times, and then rest the arm down. Okay, we're gonna do it twice more. You can even exaggerate it a little bit by rocking the hips back, pushing the hips forward, squeezing this glute. Breathe in, raise up. Breathe and open, resting down. One more time on this side, hips back, hips forward. Breathe and open. Raising that arm as straight as I can towards the ceiling or sky, and rest. Let's go over it from one more time from the opposite side, and I'll show you from more on the front this time. So keeping the feet hip width apart. Now my right leg is going to step back. Left one's gonna stay forward. Feet are hip width apart. Remember, I'm gonna make sure that front shin is nice and vertical. The knee doesn't shoot forward. Oops, I'm gonna take the chair to the other side. This way you can steady on the side that has the leg forward. And now the leg that's back, that's the arm that's gonna lift up. So I've got that hip pushing forward, arms raising up without swaying back. So ribs are tucked down. Lower the arm down, breathe in, raise up. And I feel this all in the front of my torso, in the front of the hip. I'm trying to squeeze the muscle of that right hip, resting it down. And then one more time, hip shift forward. So I shift my hips forward, breathe in and raise on up. Fantastic. And that is our hip flexor opening up the front of these hips from standing. Also, when these hips get tight and they can tend to start to pull our posture forward. So really want to take the time, open up the front of those hips so that we can have good posture as well as help prevent low back pain. All right, and that's your hip flexor stretch from standing.